And that's how we start tonight's show. And this is the second episode of Cape Town Opera's celebration of South African women in opera. And I'd like to welcome everyone tonight and thank you for joining us. My name is Masixole Makwetu. I am the marketing manager for Cape Town Opera. And tonight we have Miss Zandile Mzazi, who we've just watched perform in the clip that just played. Zandile, say hi to everyone watching tonight.
Hello, everybody.
Zandile, everyone who has watched you and has seen you perform, they know you as Gabriel, the archangel from the creation. They know you as Winnie Mandela from Madiba, the African opera. And they've seen you as Despina in Kosi Van Dude. Zandile, people that have not seen you outside that stage, tell me, who is Zandile outside the stage?
Zandile is love. Zandile is a daughter. She is a sibling. She's a mother. She's a friend. She is an aspiring chef. And Zandile has a friend that she had to sort of adopt. And she did not want to adopt this friend, but she realized that if she is going to survive and she's going to live a normal life, she's going to have to understand that from time to time, this friend is going to come knocking and this friend is going to stay for a little bit until she decides that she no longer wants to be, in her company. And that is depression. So she's not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed anymore to talk about it because I've made peace with it, and I've found ways in dealing with it, and I've found ways in sort of knowing when this friend wants to come and visit. And I just sit for a little while and I say, you know what? Yes, you're here. I guess there's nothing I can really do. But you know what? You can't stay too long because I need my life back.
Somewhere to get to, yes.
And people around me, they have accepted that. They love me regardless, and they understand that from time to time, it's very important for me to segregate myself. So any person who is in my life, just knows that that is also who Zandile is.
Yeah. What a powerful way to start this conversation. Because earlier today, I was actually talking to someone about depression. And I love how the first thing we talk about tonight is depression and the fact that it's something real, it's something that happens, and there's ways and coping mechanisms around it. And thank you for sharing that with us tonight. You were born in Queenstown, bred in Queenstown, and there was a Stompi Mavi in Queenstown. There was, and at the time, also Spendafasi were the thing. But you chose to enroll for opera after you were done with your studies, and instead of Stompi Mavi, and why opera? Why opera, Zandile?
Masixole, I was blessed enough to have been, or maybe let me say blessed enough to have recognized from a very early age in my life that I had a gift, and my gift was unique, and my gift was special. I understood that for me to flourish, for me to excel in, in music, I could not be a gospel artist, and I could not be a pop artist either, because then I would not truly allow my voice to do wonderful things and to change the lives of people that listen. So I knew that there was something about opera music that was just so special and so unique. And I embraced that. And luckily for me, I come from a musical family where every single person in my family, they can either sing or they can play an instrument. And my mom happened to be my first ever voice trainer. So I had a very solid foundation in music. I understood music education from very early on. And my parents and people in my community embraced, nourished my gift. And so there was a very special seed that was planted there. And that was Zandile, a musician, and Zandile becoming an opera singer. I hope I've answered you.
No. Everyone who's watched clips of me, when they ask me, Masixole, what inspired you to come to this part of town in the opera world?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I've always said, Miss Mfundisi.
Yes.
And so everyone who's watching tonight, the Miss Mfundisi that I've been talking about in all my videos when I answer what inspired me to be here is the same Miss Mfundisi who is Zandile's mother, who inspired her to do opera. So yes, thank you, Zandile, for that.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, you'll be arriving in Cape Town.
Yeah.
For rehearsals of Cape Town Opera's touring production. Mm-hmm. And that is La Bohème. That is going to East London, is going to Gqeberha, is going to Graaff-Reinet, is going to Oudtshoorn.
Mm-hmm.
What does it take to prepare for a role like Mimì, the role that you are going to be doing next?
Okay, I don't know how other people prepare for roles. But when I was asked to do the role of Mimì, I could see myself in Mimi's shoes. I said that I think this is one character that I don't necessarily have to try so hard in acting out, because unlike Mimì, no, I'm not dying. But and I've lived, I've lived a life, and I've experienced love in my life, and I've experienced having to lose someone that I truly love and hold very dear to my heart. And so I first had to sort of take my experience and that of Mimi's and merge it, and then start off by understanding the lyrics and understanding what the opera is really all about, understanding all the different characters and how they can enhance, my interpretation of the role, and also looking at my surroundings. And I said, my life is fairly simple. My life is, is what you see is exactly what you get. There's nothing shiny about my life. It's so real. It's so pure. It's full of love. And then I had to work with different coaches in Joburg, because I like seeking different opinions when it comes to the interpretation of music, because every single person has got different ways in how they teach a role.
Yes.
And for me, I am always open in receiving knowledge from people, and then when I have done all of that, then I have to make it my own. It means I have to stop listening to recordings and say, okay, now I can work with the piano and see how I express, this particular role, because it needs to feel right. I can't adapt, to how Mirella Freni did it, how Annan did it, and other singers. And I said, I don't have their vocal capability, right? And I don't have the vocal ability, but I can use my own ability. I can use my own unique instrument in making sure that I do justice to this particular role. And I hope it is going to be enough. But it is also important for me to understand the music, because there's nothing as nerve-wracking as doing a role and you don't really understand the lyrics, because now you have to think about so many other things at the same time. I must think about the words, I have to think about where do I come in, I have to sort of understand what Rodolfo is saying, the emotions that Rodolfo is going through. And I said, okay, let me take this and make this role a part of my life for a particular moment, and I will only be able to step out of it on the last day that I perform it. So it's been a little bit easier for me to understand it like that for myself, so that I can get to portray this role how I wish, and I hope I will do a good job. I can only hope that with what I've done, I will be able to make myself proud and make others proud as well.
And we look forward to the presentation of Mimì. When I first saw you, I was in primary school. In Bendulo Primary School, down the road from Pakomani Primary School. You had taken a walk with a few of your friends, and you came to see us as little kids in primary school, and you sang. So this music thing has been happening for a very long time. What advice would you give to young kids that take part in Saske, to young adults that take part in competitions like Belvedere, Properali? I mean, you started singing in competitions when you sang Voices of Spring in school, So what advice would you give to someone who wants to take part in a competition?
I don't know if it's really an advice, because I'm always very careful in giving an advice, more especially to younger people, because I think that stems from being a mother myself. That if I want to make a difference in a younger person's life, I believe that it is important for me to tell my own story, because that is how younger people react. They react to experiences. Because if I say if I have to speak to a young aspiring singer, I have to put myself in that person's shoes, right? And say, at 5, or maybe let me not say 5, Zandile 10, or Zandile, let me say Zandile 18, because that's when I decided that I'm going to pursue a career in music. Because I've always wanted to be so many other things: a lawyer, then a town planner, then this and then and that. But then when I was 18, I was sort of set in my own ways that this is the career path that I choose, and this is how I see myself. And I would definitely say to them, it's okay to dream.
Mm-hmm. Very important.
And you have to dream. You have to understand that your life is important, that there's higher power that is there, and that will always be there to guide you, to bring you your destiny helpers, people that are going to assist you in the path which you have chosen. And it's very, very important for you to recognize these people from very early, because you can get people that will assist in molding and shaping you so that you can become the best version of yourself. And also you can get people that will lead you astray. So you need to be very careful in identifying those people and identifying who those people are supposed to be in your life. Number 3, I would say to a younger aspiring singer that sometimes you're going to fail. You're not, and it's okay. It's okay, but it's equally important to dust yourself up and continue. It's not easy sometimes to pick yourself up. I mean, I think it's one of the most difficult and the most challenging things for any human being to do, especially if you're not mentally strong.
Yep.
It is okay for you to start all over again. And there's always people watching. You have people that are always watching, and people are happy when you are down. And they are happy when you remain there. But it is entirely up to you, in how you decide whether you want to remain there, or you want to continue on your path. You want to continue on your journey, because those experiences that you're going to go through are there for a reason. You need to start seeing your life in your own eyes.
Amen.
And listening to that voice in your heart, the voice that is so silent, that never shouts, because it will never lead you astray. And surround yourself with goodness. Surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with love. Surround yourself with family. Surround yourself with support. Because you're going to need that. When the going gets tough, only a couple of people are going to stick with you and hold your hand and say you can do it. They can tell you that you can do it, and yes, maybe you can, but you have to tell yourself that first.
Yes.
Yeah.
On that note, you've just reminded me, we used to pray, right?
Yeah.
After every rehearsal towards the competition with Miss Mfundis. Mm-hmm. And literally, for a second there, I saw her, because when she prayed to God, she used to tell God exactly how you just told us now. What has been your favorite moment or moments as a performer? What has been your favorite moment?
I've had so many beautiful moments, Masixole. I've had beautiful moments. Well, I always say even the not so beautiful moments to other people have been beautiful moments to me. Because I got to learn that there's joy. I got to learn that there's happiness, there's love, which is a universal language, which is something which all of us as human beings were blessed with, and we paid nothing for it. And I also got to understand that there's death and there's grief, and that also is a part of us. So in my moments where I've lost very dear people in my life, you know, I had to learn that there's grief and there's life after grief. So those have been some of the highlights in my life. Yes, it's a highlight because I learned a very significant lesson from those things. So I always try in my life and not only learn from the happy moments, but I also learn from the not so happy moments. Because I believe that something happens, there's a reason why it is happening. And it is there to shape and mold you as a person as you move along in your life. I don't know if I have answered you. And of course, highlight singing again, because I stopped singing at some point in my life.
Yeah.
I didn't believe in myself. I allowed my experiences to determine my tomorrow. And I never saw any light at the end of the tunnel. And I think when I gave birth to another human being, and then I said, there has to be a reason for me to be alive. Life is a gift. And I've been blessed with such a beautiful gift. And it is my responsibility to do something about it. Because I cannot be a mother and be a guardian to this little human being if I can't show gratitude for something I've been blessed with, which I did not even pay a cent for. So I understood the importance of owning up and taking responsibility and understanding that life, things happen, and we have to grow and we have to move on. And I did. I found my voice again. And since then, I've never looked back. It doesn't always happen. It doesn't happen to everybody. But I think I fought to get my voice back.
Zandile, do you know why we decided on this webinar of celebrating South African women in opera? It was so that we could understand the women behind the wigs and the makeup. And it's real. It's here it is. I'm looking at the comments as they come in, and also you're saying, your statements, or Yeshula, they are saying, I've never heard you speak, Zandile. I'm so happy to actually hear you speak. I didn't know this is how you speak. Because we know you guys only when you get on stage, put on makeup, put on the wig and the big ball gown, and then you sing. I'm so happy that you said yes to coming here and showing your vulnerable side and showing who you are outside of the makeup, outside of the wig. Before I let you go, I won't keep you longer.
No, I'm good. I have the time.
If you had to walk in Pelham Road right now, Pelham Road between Bendulo and Kwakomani, and you met 14-year-old Zandile when she arrived at Kwakomani Comprehensive School, and she was about to enroll in her grade 8 at the school, about to start her high school life. What would you tell 14-year-old Zandile? Something that you know now with all the experience you've just outlined in this webinar that you didn't know then. What would you tell your 14-year-old self right now?
Hear yourself through your own heart. You are beautiful, because there's so much power in that phrase. You are beautiful, because we don't seldom believe that about ourselves. I would say you are love, you are courage, you are enough, you are a blessing, you are God's dream to humanity. Whatever it is that you seek, whatever it is that you want, it is already within you.
Oh, my God.
So it is not about anybody else. It's not about anyone telling you what you can or what you cannot do, what you can accomplish or what you cannot accomplish. It is all dependent on you. Keep a book, a journal, and write down your dreams one by one. Keep a journal of gratitude, because every single day you have a lot of things to be grateful for. And be kind to people.
Yes.
Treat people how you want them to treat you. And be okay with not being okay, because that's also okay. Love yourself. In your worst moments, just continue loving yourself, giving yourself a hug, and say, you know what, Zandi, you got this. You're going to be okay. And cry. It's okay to cry. There's so much power in crying. There's so much power in vulnerability. There's so much power in speaking about your fears and in speaking about mental health, and saying to people, yes, sometimes I'm not okay. Sometimes I feel depressed. Sometimes I don't want to be a superwoman, Sometimes I don't want to be there for other people. Sometimes I just want to be okay. I just want to be okay, and be okay to talk about it, and sometimes not talk about it.
What it feels like this moment right now had to happen right now, because everything you've spoken about to young Zandile, the 14-year-old in Pelham Road next to Wakomani Comprehensive School, I think goes beyond that young Zandile. The world is uncertain. The world is uncertain. Everything about depression and mental health is so relevant, not just to young 14-year-old Zandile, but to everyone that's literally on this webinar right now, because everyone is going through it.
Yeah.
Thank you for those words. Thank you for pouring yourself out in this webinar. We look forward to receiving you next week when you come and prepare for the road trip to the when you come and prepare for the road trip to the Eastern Cape. Everyone, thank you. We see your comments. Thank you, Vishnu from Ghana, for joining us. Thank you, Potamsang. Thank you, Yandi, for joining us. Thank you, Duncan, for joining us. Thank you, everyone who's commented on this webinar. And Zandile will be playing the lead role of Mimì in our upcoming production of Rigoletto. And it's going to be touring from East London to Gqeberha, from Gqeberha to Graaff-Reinet, and then from Graaff-Reinet to Oudtshoorn. You will find the details. The tickets actually open tomorrow for Guild Theatre in East London at 9 o'clock tomorrow. If you go to CompuTicket, they will be open. And for those who are in Gqeberha, it will be playing in Savoy Theatre, and they also open tomorrow. They'll be booking through Savoy Theatre. So please go and book your tickets. There's only 50 people allowed in the venue, so only 50 tickets per performance. So tickets will be running out soon. Zandile, thank you for coming through. Thank you for.
Thank you for having me, Masixole.
Thank you. I will see you next week when you get to Cape Town, and have yourself a beautiful evening. And everyone, please join me tomorrow when I welcome Magdalene Mina to talk about her different hats that she wears. And have a good evening. And Diane, thank you for managing this webinar for us tonight. Have a good evening.
Happy Women's Month to all the women in the world.
Thank you.